with, we touched on it a little bit, but thinking about communicating with one another and stealing ideas and concepts and philosophies from one another. As we can start with coaches, is there anything specifically that you think that coaches should try and steal from PTs as far as like ideas or concepts that would really help them?
Yeah, I think further understanding of anatomy and movement are probably two to start with. Like we kind of touched on it earlier, but like if you understand the impacts of restriction at one place and potential things that happen somewhere else, maybe you can help kind of, use the word everybody uses, bridge the gap between these two things and give the client a better experience or be an extension of their rehab session of like, hey, you were working on your ankle mobility over there. Like, we're going to continue to do that over here with X, Y, and Z things before you go into your main session. We're not going to take away from your goals or performance side, because when you're over here, the goal is performance. And when you're over there, the goal is something else. But just because you're over here doesn't mean that deficit goes away. And so just understanding to a little bit deeper movement, what makes up movement at each joint. It doesn't have to be crazy, like super niche to assessing for pain, but just like in general, when the hip goes into flexion, what happens? In general, when it goes into extension, what happens? Like just basic things like that. And then how does that tie to your movement patterns and your exercise selection? And if you understand that, then you can start to really, one, provide exercises to target those things, but two, make adjustments when you know that those things aren't there. Because if someone lacks knee flexion and they can't fully bend their knee, it doesn't matter what cue I give them, whether it's internal or external or the best analogy, they can't do it.
Yeah.
If you don't understand that, then there's going to be some friction there, or your session could maybe be a little bit better, a little bit more intentional. I think that's, probably the big thing. I think, I feel like on the performance side, evaluation is crazy big right now. Force plates, all of that is huge. But PTs test, retest all the time. I'm going to assess this thing. I'm going to do an intervention. I'm going to reassess this thing. Make sure I got change. Applying something like that in coaching would also be super valuable. Like, what is our goal? Let's assess that thing. Let's run a program. Let's reassess that